Hello, hi. The game will be up in a sec. It's doing its best, okay? There it is. How's everyone doing? Happy Saturday still? Yep. Looseness, Red, Kevlarson, Ultimate, Doomslayer, hi. Kevlarson, congrats on the milestone. I've never seen it say more or less than 3. I want to see that Twitch. What the heck? Heshin, hello. Alton, hello. Your tummy hurts, same. My tummy's real angy. I don't know that I can have basil anymore, which would explain why I can't have a lot of pasta or certain pizzas, maybe. Golden Jewels, I don't know if it does. It doesn't matter.
Sweet, baby!
Kevlar, thanks for the 70 biddies. Also, Aussie, new follower. Hello, hello, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. My stomach is revolting tonight, so thrilling. Nothing matters. Woo! I've done all of this, I think. Right, Hawaiian burritos. They don't have pineapple? Let's see, who should we continue with? We can just go down the list. Pineapple and burritos sounds terrible. Anyway. We're gonna play as Harue. She's trying to bring her son back from the dead. From what we learned in the first part. Anyway, not dreams. Playing as Harue. When the son of Harue, Shigema, was kidnapped, a botched investigation by the police resulted in the child's murder. 1 year later, Harue has hired a private investigator to help resolve the unsettled case. Late at night while speaking to the detective. Wow, this is starting out really well. Detective at her home, something strange suddenly happens. Or appears. True. I'm gonna insert all these words that don't exist here. We saw that fire guy. Kill them. Kill them. The flame bearers. Kill them all. You've acquired the power of the curse stone, the haunting clappers. You can use it to kill those with fire or a fire-starting device on their person. Ah, that makes sense. Press the use curse button to set your target alight. We're setting people on fire, Ducky. But thank you for the raid. What were you playing tonight? B-Loser Packs, hello. Ducky, hello, hello. How's it going, everybody? Thank you so much for the raid. Just got started. For those that don't know, Paranormasight's a spooky adventure game. Kind of a visual novel. But we did one character story, we're starting on the next one. We're gonna set people on fire. It's following the haunting clappers. How did stream go, Ducky? What did you do? Tell me all about it. Also, everyone go follow Ducky, or else. Been doing a lot of achievement hunting. Recently played this as well on his own time though, but he knows things. Oh dang, this is a whole novel. But the haunting clappers. We kind of learned about it in the first section. Gourmet Warrior, Super Silly Beat 'em Up, made by the people who... From Cho and Nikki? Really? Are there lots of really muscular guys doing questionable poses? And posing, there you go. Knew it. Called it. Yeah, how'd you check that out? I hope it was fun. Is that a newer game or is it older? I've not heard of it. It has a pause button. Old. I'll definitely have to check that out. I've never played a Cho-Aniki, but I'm very, very aware of them. Very old Super Famicom. Ah, it was the first game. Things went onward and upward from there, if you know what I mean. Penis jokes, yay. You know, I'll have to look into that. It sounds interesting. Sounds fun. 100% on this game, and you know what the spoiler is. All the spoilers. Let's say, haunting clappers. As the evening bell rings in Iriacho? I don't know, that one's hard to say for me. Near present-day Shimoku Bridge, night watchman patrols the dark streets and announces his presence by shouting warnings about fires, all while striking his wooden clappers. Did we read this part? I will read it again, whatever. It's a refresh. Tonight the sound of another set of clappers answers back. He curiously claps his clappers together again. Clack, clack. The echo answers again. But no matter how hard he searches for the source of the second pair of clappers, he never finds it. Some say it was the work of a mysterious tanuki or kitsune, while others say it was a warning from the spirit of someone who lost their life in a terrible fire. Loosely resembles me. Clappers. Clappers, all I want. Curse power. Kills by burning one who is in possession of fire or a fire-starting device. They learned that in the first story as well. A resentful memory. Red, red, red. Everything has dyed crimson. My home is burning to the ground. It's hot. So, so hot. I must call for help, but I cannot speak. My throat must be burned up from the smoke. No, I think I'm already on fire. That's right. I'll just use the clappers. Clack, clack. Is anyone there? Clack, clack. Why is no one coming? I'm going to burn to death. How did it come to this? Oh right, her. Must be the work of that vixen who suddenly appeared and enchanted my lord? That witch. Hauntingly cold eyes had my lord dancing in the palm of her hand. Perhaps I was also taken in by her. How many innocent people did I lure in under orders? Must be karma. The sound of a heavy bell feels like my head. Feels like May head? Feels like my head will split open. All right, the evening bell. That must be why nobody can hear the sound of my clappers. I've got to do it louder. Clack, clack. Yeah, remember the clapper chat? I remember. Murderous impulse seeps into my soul like thick black tar. Time to set people on fire. Clappers. Now. Kill. Can you hear it, Curse Bearer? You who strongly desires the right. Kill them. Kill those murderers dead. I always wanted the clapper when I was little. Like, wouldn't it be cool to just, like, clap my hands and not have to turn off the lights, you know? Things that we got excited about in the 90s. Back with me, ma'am? Richter Belmont. I can't say I understand what just happened. But it clearly seems to put you in a good mood. Might be the first time I've ever seen you really smile. That's a smile? Sweet dreams. Harue. Snake's not thick enough for people to hear them. Man, playing Metal Gear Solid 2, Snake's girthy cheeks, alerting everyone, left and right. Super Moose is hello. He's got a big tree branch and used that. Yeah, I never had the clapper or tree branch. Harue Shigima, female. She's a housewife. She's got the haunting clappers. The chia was the food as well? Ah. Thought they were just pets. Harue is a housewife who resides in a manor near Shumoku Bridge. Her 11-year-old son, Shuichi, was kidnapped and murdered about a year ago. The death was a result of a mistake on the part of the detective assigned to the case, a mistake which enraged the kidnapper and had him cut off all contact with the police, leaving no room for negotiation. The incident was covered up and Shuichi's killer remains at large, leading the aggrieved Harue to call on the services of private investigator Richter Kai to uncover the truth. The Shigema family came from a line of samurai who built their residence in Honjo during the Edo period. They assumed important positions in the police force following the Meiji Revolution, therefore protecting their family's elevated status. Even today, many of the Shigema line work as police bureaucrats and senior police officers. Harue's father sits in the upper echelons of the National Police Agency, and her husband, adopted into the Shigema clan through an arranged marriage, is also a highly respected agency official. However, as her family prioritizes work above all else, it wasn't long before Harue's marriage grew cold. Though she wants for nothing, she is isolated from her neighbors and withdrawn from society. Seeing her son grow into a young man gave Harue a purpose in life, but it was cut short by the kidnapping incident. Following the incident, Harue spent many days in a deep depression, breaking into sudden fits of shouting and wandering around in the middle of the night. Her cheerful, loving disposition faded away, and she took to making snide remarks at her husband, which only further soured their relationship. A few months ago, Harue's husband was transferred to another area for work and now rarely returns home, with Harue left to live in the large, empty mansion alone. As a housekeeper has been with the family for a long time, comes in to take care of all the housework, Harue has nothing but time on her hands. Adak, hello. She's fine. She's clearly fine. No. Not dreams. Sounds like something I want to hear about. Might want to hear about, even. Don't look at me like that. Oh, what is this? Well, I'll be damned. Is that what I think it is? Goodness, you made me jump. Just a silly little sticker my son got from somewhere or other. You put it up just before, well, you know what happened. I can't bring myself to take it down. Let me take a closer look. It's a cock. I knew it. It's Head Hensho. From way back in set number 1, this is a real collector's item. Head Hensho? Excuse me? Don't tell me you've never heard of the mockingbirds. The what? They're the hottest new craze. Cute little birds dressed up like rough and tumble delinquents. Never heard of them, but this certainly seems to matter to you. The best part is no one knows who made them. They just started showing up around town, and soon enough, they'd won everybody's hearts. The story goes that they're made by some anonymous artist who covertly leaves them behind in specific locations. No one knows when or where they'll show up next. They're basically an urban legend of sorts. To think they would turn up here of all places, this is a good sign. I'm sure of it. Oh, well, that's nice. Zoom in on that cock. What do you think? Are you crazy about it? Mockingbird number 1 discovered. Oh shit, there are a lot of them? 20 of them? The mockingbirds, these popular bird mascot stickers seem to pop up everywhere. Nobody knows who the legendary artist is behind these quirky birds, but they quickly become popular for their surreal, but oddly cute designs. Be in the right place at the right time in Honjo, and you might just be able to find all 20 of them scattered around. Legend has it collecting them will bring good luck. Collecting all of them, even. Okay, it's giving us hints for each one. If I won the lottery, a bird. Yeah, it's a little spooky. Stereo unit with separated speakers designed for home use. My husband insisted on buying one, even though he isn't one to listen to music often. An arrangement of flowers. We bring in someone to do it. I don't even know what the flowers are called. All the while he's just staring. An old hanging scroll. I don't know who painted it. It's been hanging here since before I was born. Rotary. The telephone. Mansion has a private line. A fax machine. People actually use these. Can send images to other places along the telephone network. I don't really know how it works. Most houses don't have one. I rarely find a use for it. Welcome to fax machines. Color television. Father bought one as soon as it hit the market. He likes to have the latest gadgets. Unlike the latest models, there is no remote control. We've had it for a long time. Back when it was new, we all gathered around it and marveled at it as a family. But with Father and my husband being away so often, it quickly fell into disuse. Poor television. I wonder if there's anything else. Think. My heart's still racing. This is it, my chance at long last. Gatley, hello. Yeah, I know people still use fax machines. It was a joke. Private investigator I hired. A friend told me about him. They said he's not very well known, but he's good at what he does. When I first visited his office in Otis City, and I saw how he dressed, I could hardly believe he was a detective. But after talking to him for a while, I changed my mind. He says some strange things at times, but he seems like the reliable sort.
Viruses are scary.
Hessian, thank you so much for 26 heckin' months. Holy crap. We're so old. Thank you, thank you. Can't believe it's been that long. Every time. Let's see, we got Richter Kai here. I wonder what the other side of his face looks like. Male occupation, he's a private investigator. He doesn't have a curse echo. That we know of. Be here till the end. The eccentric man that Shogo Okie ran into at Honji Bridge. Richter is actually a private investigator with an office in Otis City, Tokyo. After taking on a request from Harue Ishiyama to investigate the unsolved kidnapping and murder of her son, he gets caught up in the events surrounding the rite of resurrection. Once a police officer, Richter was racked with guilt over the police's inability to help all those in need, and quit the force to start his own private investigation firm. However, his soft-hearted nature leads him to take on too many cases and has put his office in dire financial straits. How he is still in business is a mystery, with some whispering that a wealthy patron is keeping him afloat. Richter studied alongside Detective June Ario at the police academy. Somewhat surprisingly, given his outlandish clothing and mannerisms, Richter excels at covert investigations and tailing his targets. He proudly refers to himself as an investigator extraordinaire, though that only ever succeeds in impressing himself. Richter's biggest source of happiness is nuzzling his pet female albino parakeet, Ernestine, which he keeps in his office. He also enjoys collecting mockingbird stickers, a popular line of merchandise featuring birds inexplicably dressed like delinquents, and can be frequently sighted searching around town for them. While out and about, Richter typically leaves the office, and more importantly, Ernestine, in the care of Amamori, a junior high schooler who volunteered to assist Richter after being involved in a previous case. Well, well, well. Oh, was there a file I should have read? Maybe. The table. The guest table. I don't know where Father got this old thing from, but I've never liked it. Kinda rude. Just the table? Hey game, what do you want? Unless I'm supposed to read something. Ah, the clock. Looking at the pendulum echoes through the room. Feels livelier than usual with Richter here. Usually it's just me. Hi. I should have talked to his face. There we go. I forgot about that. Let me bring you up to speed. We were in the middle of a chat when you suddenly started spacing out. And the whole time you were grinning to yourself like you just won the lottery. Care to tell me what that was all about? Well, where to start? Very interesting, very interesting. So the haunting clapper's curse echo appeared out of nowhere. Told you how to perform the rite of resurrection and gave you the curse you'll need to do it. Have I got that right? That's right. So it's all real. Honestly, I still find it hard to believe. But I guess I have to now. I saw that curse stone appear in your hand myself. It looked like it popped clean out of thin air. With evidence that clear, there's no denying that there's some supernatural force at work. Think. Okay, same thing. Talk. ABC vet, hello. I don't think you quite understand. Oh? This isn't about evidence, and it isn't about belief. It's more than that. I know it's real. The moment the curse appeared, I knew everything before it even said a word. Knew everything before it even said a word. It was already there in my head, as clear as day. You just knew, huh? It was etched into my soul, along with the curse echo's resentful memories. So I can feel it, what it was like. Dying like they did, hundreds of years ago. Wreathed in flame, writhing in pain as my flesh blackens and my blood boils. I can feel it. All the agony, all the rage. It feels me? Sure, it fills me with bloodlust. I think I need to kill someone. Anyone will do, just as long as they're carrying fire. I see, that could be a problem. You think so? From what I know of you, I was sure you'd see it as an opportunity. One sec, I'll be right back. Alright, welcome back. Gotta get up real quick. Ghoulicious, hello. Okay, she wants to kill someone. He's like, oh, it's probably a bad idea. It probably is. I'm sure you'd see it as an opportunity. Is this part just quiet? The stronger the desire to resurrect someone, the stronger the urge to kill. That's how it seems to me, anyway. Game. Why are you not letting me click on you? Hmm? Oh, I had the wrong controller? Oh no. I'm doing great. Fine. The stronger the desire to resurrect someone, the stronger the urge to kill. That's how it seems to me, anyway. Good grief, talk about a spanner in the works. Say we take stock for a moment, remind ourselves where we've come from and where we're going. That might be a good idea. Oh, there's music, okay. I was concerned. Let's see. Is there anything else to click on, or are we just talking? No one cares about the table. About the investigation. Yeah, the music is good. It's subtle yet effective. What you hired me for, ma'am, to look into your son's kidnapping last year. To uncover the truth behind the abduction and murder of Shuichi Shigima. Oh yes, I remember. They never did find the one that did it. What I'm here about today, in fact. Kind of you to let me drop by so late, by the way. I've been turning over every last stone, and I've come up with a grand total of 1 lead. So you said. As far as the police are concerned, it's a cold case, but I've managed to make some headway. I remember you were just about to tell me. I haven't read either of these. See, the Shigema kidnapping overview. A kidnapping and murder case took place in Honjo, Sumida, around 1 year ago. Harue Shigima's son, Shuichi, age 11, was kidnapped on his way home from school, with a ransom being demanded that same evening. Blowfire, hello. Initially, the kidnapping was thought of a simple extortion scheme, but when it came to light that the Shigima family was closely tied to the police, and Shuichi was in fact the grandson of a senior official, it was quickly assumed that the perpetrator was acting upon a grudge against the police force. The kidnapping was treated as a direct attack against the good name of the police, and a large-scale investigation was launched that used the best equipment available to trace phone calls. This made it all the more embarrassing when they were unable to catch the culprit, losing the public's confidence. The culprit grew cocky, relentlessly mocking the police force. After 3 days of failure after failure, Harue reached a breaking point. Burdened by concern for her son, she resolved to hand over the ransom money as fast as possible, but her husband and father, who held the prestige of police in high regard, refused, saying that they would not let the criminal win by giving in to their demands. The increasingly frantic detective assigned to the case lost his temper when the criminal called to give an ultimatum, causing the culprit to never make contact again. Thus, another week passed, and Shuichi's body was found floating in the Sumida River. Shuichi's death could be largely ascribed to the police's incompetence, but this was ultimately covered up with stringent media embargoes. The investigation was never closed, but the case has long gone cold. What about this agency? Raphael, hello. The Azure Heron Agency, Richter Kai's private investigation firm in Kamada, Ota City. Originally, Kai thought to give it a simple name, like Kai's Detective Agency, but upon hearing that people are more likely to pick names listed at the front of the phone book alphabetically, he decided to pick a name starting with an A. Thus the Azure Heron Agency was established. However, it's questionable whether the heron, a bird of somewhat ominous significance, is an effective symbol for attracting customers. Even his own assistant has referred to the name as confusing at best. After all, rather than an azure heron, Richter keeps a white parrot as a pet and dresses not in blue but mostly in white. If there was a symbolic connection to be made here, it's surely been lost on all but Richter himself. A private investigator, also known as a private eye, is a detective who operates their own agency. Although there are no formal qualifications necessary to become a private investigator, many are retired police agents or detectives due to the similarities between the work involved. At a glance, private investigation firms and inquiry offices might look similar, but they carry out different types of investigations. Inquiry offices specialize in conducting credit checks on businesses, while private investigators are generally involved in tailing persons of interest and gaining information surreptitiously. Yeah, I think we're caught up now. Persons of interest updated? Aw. Okay. There's little Shuichi. Male, occupation, elementary school student. He doesn't have a curse echo, obviously. The only son of Harue Shigima, he was kidnapped and murdered 1 year ago. His body was discovered floating in the Sumida River. Shuichi was a conscientious, brave young boy who was determined to protect his mother Harue amid his father's frequent absences. He dreamed of becoming a police officer and displayed diligence and an impressive sense of responsibility from a young age, likely due to being raised in an extremely strict environment. Born in the early 70s, he spent his days immersed in various activities and studies, including playing piano, learning the abacus, taking English lessons, and training in kendo. Shuichi's tendency to put other people's needs over his own meant he died without ever telling his classmates how much he longed for them to all go out on a hunt for mockingbird stickers. Aw. Poor kid. Think. About the investigation, okay. About the kidnapping. Because there's not much point going over the kidnapping itself. No, I'm very familiar. I'll leave that for the files to cover. Just confirm a few things about the case. The police trace the culprit's calls back to, let's see here. Northern Oyoko River here in Sumida City. It's quite a wide area. That's right. In the end, they never managed to nail down exactly where the calls were coming from, but it was almost certainly the same location that Shuichi was being held captive. Then Shuichi's voice could be heard during the killer's calls. Northern Oyoko River is quite a distance from Shuichi's normal school commute. Factoring in that he was seen at school but went missing before he arrived at his house. It's likely that he was abducted by car on his route home. Maybe, but... Exactly, Shuichi was a clever boy. He never would have gotten into a car with a stranger. That's right. He was very firm about that. I knew he understood too. I even saw him warning the other children. It's possible that they forced him into the car. The only issue there is there wasn't any witnesses to the kidnapping. There weren't, whatever. You can't bundle someone into a car with that many students around and not be noticed. But nobody came forward to say that they saw anything suspicious. So did they target him at some other time or somewhere away from his usual route? Both of those seem a little far-fetched. Which raises the question, how did the kidnapper pull it off? The police never managed to find an answer. In the end, they decided that the kidnapper must have gotten lucky. Well, why not turn the problem on its head? Not saying anything else? Rite of Resurrection. The Rite of Resurrection, huh? I read about that in an occult magazine the other day. Apparently some old book showed up recently with all the gory details. They say that the rite can be found somewhere in Honjo. I remember the first time you told me about that. Felt like my prayers had been heard. Like I had hope, real hope for the first time. Ever since that awful day I've wondered, what if I hadn't sent him to school? What if I just paid the ransom? Not a day goes by when I don't think that if I had done something differently, Shuichi would still be alive. Can't blame yourself, ma'am. It was the culprit's fault, not yours. Though I know that won't help any. Grief is funny like that. I'm guessing that's why you're after the right? Guess I didn't need to ask. It's written all over your face. I can tell just how much he meant to you. But this is a big but. If the right is the real deal, using it will mean killing someone and stealing their soul. Is that a problem? If it comes to that, I'm afraid I'll have to stop you. Oh, that's a shame. Shame, huh? That's all? I thought, if I'm going to be competing with other curse bearers, then your detective skills might come in useful. You realize you're talking about ending someone's life, right? Don't you see an issue with that? I think any parent in my position would happily kill for a chance like this. And so, is it? Dear, oh dear, what have I gotten myself into? A little bit of murder. You know, we still need to figure out exactly what you want me to do. Tell you what, why don't I tell you what I've found and then we can make a decision. Alright. Okay. Kidnapper managed to convince Shuichi to get into their car, but how? The only thing that makes sense to me is if they were somebody that would have a reason to trust. He would have a reason to trust. Teacher perhaps, or a relative, or somebody else that he knew. All the adults Shuichi knew had alibis. The police checked them all thoroughly. They did, huh? No one throws numbers at a problem like the cops. Yeah, a little bit of murder. Thanks, Mom. How's it going? I saw your message earlier and didn't say hi. I'm terrible. What if it wasn't someone he knew? Or rather, what if the culprit disguised themselves as a police officer? That would explain why he didn't find them suspicious. The Ishiyama family has close ties with the police after all. He would have had a reason to trust them. You might be right. But surely that couldn't have... Well, there's a problem with the theory. You'd be surprised how much police officers stand out. That's sort of the point, after all. They're meant to be visible deterrent against crime. Still talking about this? But here's another interesting bit of trivia I happen to know. When you ask people to imagine someone suspicious, nobody pictures women or children. Even kids who have been warned about stranger danger often subconsciously expect that danger to look like an adult man. Besides, Shuichi was the sort of boy who wanted to be a police officer when he grew up. He must have had a very strong sense of right and wrong. That's right. Wait, surely you can't mean... Now you're getting it. If, say, a young woman approached Shuichi asking for help, what would he have done? If someone like that said they were lost and asked him for directions, would he have gotten into a car? He might have. My husband always told him that a man had a duty to watch out for women and children. I'd certainly argue that kind of attitude is outdated nowadays. But if Shuichi believed it, then we might have something here. Do you think the culprit was a young woman? But it was a man's voice on the phone. It might have been an accomplice, or maybe she didn't realize she was being used. If anything, that would explain why she hasn't come forward. She herself might not realize she had anything to do with the case. Gorek, hello. How's your weekend? So the question is, did anybody see Shuichi speaking with a young woman on the day of his disappearance? See, what I said about people's biases, that goes for witnesses too. And I figured that maybe if I started asking new questions, I might get some new answers. So I spent my day asking around Shuichi's school route, seeing if anyone had seen something. And one man thought he had. Do you mean he saw it happen? Well, I can't say that for sure yet. It turned out he wanted something from me, so he asked if he could talk in private. Several hours earlier. Yeah, my day hasn't been too bad. I took a long heckin' nap. That's why I'm on so late now. Alright, that should do. There's no one around, we can speak in confidence. Excuse me, what was your name again? Dang, look at this guy's hair. Junochi? Got it. Well, Junochi, I'm all ears. Just so we're on the same page. You're a private detective investigating Shuichi Shigima's kidnapping. Do I have that right? Of course, what else do I look like? How should I know what a private detective looks like? Huh, forget it. Look, I'll tell you straight. My life is in danger, I need your help. Nani? Oh, excuse me if that caught me a little off guard. Let me ask you straight. Who's trying to kill you? A student called Michio Hiraishi. Interesting. A schoolgirl, eh? Sounds like you've been naughty. It's nothing like that. That girl, she's a murderer. I'm the only one who knows, but I saw what she did. Michio Hiraishi. I saw her kidnap Shuichi Shigima. Come again? I saw her talk to him on the street and lead him away, but I didn't think much of it at the time. But then he went missing. He murdered him, I'm sure of it, or at least she's got something to do with it. That's what you're here for, isn't it? Then you can't let her get to me. That's true, you've been sitting on some valuable information. Why didn't you tell anybody? Well, you see... if you can't explain that, I don't have any reason to believe you. I couldn't. She told me she'd kill me if I spoke a word. Telling me a schoolgirl had you scared for your life. You've been sitting on that all this time, and you think she's coming for you now that you've spilled the beans? Yes, that's it, exactly. Guy's suspicious. I'm begging you, don't let her get me. What's the teeth? Arrest her, I'm telling you, she's a demon. Well, you seem to believe what you're saying. It just doesn't add up. How could a schoolgirl have a fully grown man so terrified? You don't know what she can do. She'll curse me. Curse you? What is that face? I'm sorry, but you're losing me here. It's true. Her house, it's... Ah, forget it. Why do I even bother? Seemed dubious enough to believe me, but I should have known you'd never understand. Enough. I'll find someone else to help me. Hey. Hey, Music is so anxious, yeah. Simple yet effective. Hail hello. That's about the long and short of it. I can hardly believe it. At the time, I thought his mention of curses was just crazy talk, but I'm starting to see that there might have been more to it. Then, if we can just find that girl. Curse or no curse, if she was with Shuichi on that day of the kidnapping, then there's a good chance she knows something. On top of that, I did some digging on the man I spoke to. His full name is Kohei Jonochi. He's a teacher at Komagata High School here in Sumida. A teacher? Then the schoolgirl. Is one of his students? I think that's very likely. Super likely. Let's see. At last, we've got a lead. Hopefully, it'll be the breakthrough we're looking for. Okay, we're done with that. About the investigation. Look for about 45 minutes while you get some yummy dinner, Ducky. I'll be here for a bit. You know, we still need to figure out exactly what you want me to do. Tell you what, why don't I tell you what I've found, and then we can make a decision. Alright. Yeah. So that hasn't proceeded yet. If it makes you uncomfortable, then you won't have to get any blood on your hands yourself. I don't need you to kill the other curse bearers, I just need you to find them. I won't be party to murder, ma'am, not even for a client. That's a shame. I'll pay you. How much can I give you to change your mind? Sorry, ma'am, but not everyone has a price. Got my policies and I stick to them. I see. Didn't realize you were so stubborn. Let me say, though, it's not like I don't get what you're going through. As long as you're not killing anyone with your own hands, maybe I can help you out. What do you have in mind? Well, how about stealing someone else's curse stone after they filled it with soul dregs? If that was all you were after, then I could lend you my services guilt-free. If the other curse bearers want to kill each other, that's their business. I'm not trying to be a hero here. I guess there's no guarantee a stolen curse stone will work, but I can worry about that later. Well then, I suppose we have a deal. Although, what if I stole a curse stone? Using my curse. Would you disapprove? I did not realize Kuro was in here and I heard him snoring. He's passed out in his little coffin bed. What if I stole a curse stone using my curse? Would you disapprove? I would void our contract, ma'am. Just warning you now. My. About my curse. Before we go any further, why don't you tell me about that curse of yours? The haunting clappers, was it? The one of the 7 mysteries of Honjo, if I remember correctly. Onyx Zircon, thank you so much for the raid. Hello. What were you getting into today? Hope you had a good stream. We're unraveling mysteries. How's it going? How's your weekend? This game does have music, it's just not right now. Did I ever turn... Hold up. I had to check something. I also haven't saved. Story chart. Does that matter? Probably not. 90s music? Dang. I remember the 90s. But that sounds like a pretty packed stream. But thank you again for the raid. Can we get a shout out for Onyx Zircon? It seems like you had a fun night, or fun time zone, whatever time it is. It's so weird. I'm not normally on this late. I slept a lot today. That's right. The original story did happen somewhere near here, I think. I'm sure I remember hearing that. Nearly 4 a.m. 4 a.m.'s a good time to go to sleep. For me, anyway. I like staying up late. I used to stay up until like 6 or 7 a.m. Long ago. But playing Paranormasight, it's about resurrecting the dead. Like different... Like people have curses, they're bearing curses. It's just a few people, but you have to murder. And once you have enough murder, you can potentially resurrect someone, but I don't think anyone has done it yet. As far as we know. In that case, my money would be on all the curse bears being somewhere in Honjo. Our first move should be to narrow them down. Some of them are bound to try and come for you first. We need to be ready. The curses make their bearers more willing to kill, so an attack could come from anywhere. That sounds sensible. But killing a curse bearer gets you more dregs, which is how many you need, like 100, I think. I started this last weekend. It's been a whole week. If I remember correctly, your haunting clappers can set people on fire, but only if they have a naked flame or a lighter on their person, is that right? That's right. In olden times, wooden clappers were used to warn people of fire. I'm guessing it punishes those who don't heed the warning. Seems like a good curse to have. It's simple and straightforward enough to use. Although it's hard to say how it stacks up without knowing what else is on the table. Really think it's that good? The target can't do much to throw it off, and it has a nice long activation window. It's big that it works on lighters, too. Just slip one in your target's pocket. Say that condition were already fulfilled before they even knew you're there. They wouldn't even know what hit them. Maybe. I won't actually have to use it. I could just tell someone I could, and they'd have to do what I ask. Threats could work, although without any proof, it'd come down to how convincing you can be. If only you could use the curse and then back out at the last second. At the last second? What an interesting idea. I have a lighter right here. We could try it now. That's an interesting proposition. But maybe not. I'm not quite crazy enough to make myself a guinea pig. Oh, I see. Teehee. You're an odd one, ma'am, if you don't mind me saying. And I don't think it's just the curse. You flatter. Definitely a flattering thing to say to someone. As for what you do next, first of all, I think you should stay indoors. Try not to do anything spontaneous or outside of your normal routine. Right then, have you decided what you want me working on? Help me with the rite, sure. Bringing my son back is more important. I want you to help me with the rite of resurrection. Roger that. The rite it is. Odds are good that the other curse bearers are also working by night. They'll kill... anyone they kill under the cover of darkness won't be discovered until sunrise. I bet they'll be trying to do as much as they can before morning comes. So it's settled then. I'll look into the other curse bearers by night. And once the city wakes up, and I can start asking questions, I'll investigate the kidnapping as well. I'll even try to find Miss Shiraishi as part of the bargain. Thank you, that's more than enough. Okay. Now then... I get to work. There's only so much time before sunrise. I'll call you if I find anything new. You stay here and keep a lookout. Alright. There's no telling what kind of curses you might find out on the streets tonight. Don't go outside if you can help it, and try to be ready for anything. I will. Well, if that's all, I should be going. I don't know if it mattered what I said to him there, because it doesn't look like there's a split. A nice thought. Summary previous events. Despite having obtained the curse of the haunting clappers, Harue Ishiyama is determined to use the rite of resurrection by stealing the remaining cursed stones. She instructs her private investigator, Richter, to find other curse bearers. 1 a.m. Been almost an hour since Richter left. He promised he'd call me if anything happened. But he hasn't. All I can do is wait and wait. Brain. I know it's dangerous to go out, but I can't just sit here and let this opportunity pass me by. I have to look for her, for Michio Shiraishi. But first I need to find more soul drags. Just need to do some murder, you know. Should I put a record on? No, it's too late for that. I'm not in the mood for music anyway. The flowers put me at ease just a little. Odd hanging scroll. Seen it often, too often to feel anything for it now. Table. Come to think of it, I never offered him any tea. Not that I ever learned how to make it. A newspaper. Was this a newspaper? Must have fallen off the chair. It's a newspaper. I only leave them in here for the guests. I hardly ever read them myself. I don't think I've taken the time to go over one in years, in fact. Well, it's not like I have anything better to do. Pokerstead, hello. It sometimes Twitch actually does it, so you can never be sure. But either way, welcome back. Look at the society articles. It looks like the city's biggest problem right now is pollution. I remember how the air and the water used to be even more polluted. The river was covered in scum from all the sewage and industrial waste, and it stank so badly it'd make my eyes water. Eventually people started getting sick and it couldn't be ignored anymore. Fortunately, it's gotten better since then. Although the air around the industrial district is still filthy with gas and smog. All sorts of articles about the current state of the economy. Now that the post-war boom has passed its peak, we're moving into the era of large corporations. It's about 220 to 230 yen to the dollar. Manufacturing is on the rise and exports are healthy. The dollar's down from its height and people are saying it could fall further. There's no denying how much the standard of living has improved in the past few years. It's common to own a car and television now, and supermarkets are even stocked up, or better stocked, whatever. Okay, what's in the culture articles? Now that everyone has more spending money to go around, people are coming up with all kinds of new diversions. Seems like only yesterday that people were flocking to the arcades to shoot aliens. But now we have these enormous theme parks and gaming machines that plug straight into our televisions. Everyone's talking about superhero series, foreign films, and movies based on the latest bookseller. Back in my day, fusion rock and folk music were all the rage. But now it's all about city pop and idols. I find it hard to care about that sort of thing anymore. But city pop... Education articles. Everyone attends high school now, even girls. Universal education policy, they call it. The country's gotten rich enough that every child can go to school. Education is the backbone of modern society. If you want to work for a good company, you have to get into a good university. With more people in the running than ever, the competition to get into those universities has gotten fierce, though. The new generation is rebelling. Schoolyard violence and delinquency are on the rise. But my boy was too sensible to get mixed up in any of that. I don't want to read anymore. It'll only remind me of him. Hello, Zephon. Happy Saturday. Oh shoot, we had to keep looking at these. Look at the television article. I don't really watch much television. Feels as if all the information in the world gets passed through that little black box. My father stopped them from reporting on the kidnapping back when it happened. I was glad about that. Less fuss. Now that the comedy boom is over, all the comedians are flocking to other genres. The occult seems really popular at the moment. Look at all these paranormal specials. Here the new big thing is some mascot line of delinquent birds. Mockingbirds, I think it's called. Is that what Richter was talking about? Friends seem to have such short shelf lives now, with how quickly the times are changing. I think I'm just too old to keep up anymore. That's relatable. It's young people who are leading the way with their modern world views. My generation will only fall further behind. More economy articles. Although with everyone flocking to the city, land prices are skyrocketing. Nowadays, most people can only dream of home ownership. The city center is going to be nothing but apartments before long. I'm not exactly a businesswoman, so this all feels like another world to me. Society articles. If there's one thing Honjo never wants for, it's horrific crimes. They found a police officer dead in a park the other day. Local park, even. A lot of my family are in the police. I hope it wasn't anybody I knew. I don't read the news anymore. Not since last year. Brings back bad memories. Dang it. Still more society. Suicide at local high school? I remember that. A high school girl jumped off a roof about a week ago. She was bullied, I think. Or maybe it was something about exam pressure? What? But... No, this can't be right. Her name... Michiyo Shiraishi from Kamagata High School? Can't be. Spooky music? I'm waiting for Richter to contact me, but he hasn't. I've made sure the receiver is on the hook. It'll ring as soon as he calls. Ah! That must be him. Answer it. Why wouldn't I? Hello, Shigima residence. Kamagata Bridge. Does it say 2 a.m. now? Victor called me out to meet him, and we came here to Kamagata Bridge. Victor, there's something I need to tell you. Funny, I was just thinking the same thing. Standing around is the last thing I want to be doing right now. This is my only chance to bring back my son. I can't afford to fritter it away. Do you feel the clock? I guess. He's gazing down at the water. What does he see down there, I wonder? You go first. Please, go ahead. Alright then. Been poking around places connected to 7 mysteries looking for curse bearers. And I think I found a few candidates. First, a tall man I ran into at Kinchibori Park. Asked him for directions, trying to probe him a little, but he turned the questions right back around on me. And he was out there the second he figured... Wait. He was out of there the second he figured I wasn't what he was looking for. Got the sense curses were nothing new to him. I'm about 40% sure he's a curse bearer. We saw him in the... What's his face's a story. And he was not. And there's this middle-aged guy I saw on South Warigasui Street. There's no question about this one. He had one of the curse stones in his hand. He had a nervous air about him, too. It was clear he was up to some shady business. Gathering soul drugs, I'd bet. He'd make a good target. Next up is a pair, a young man and woman I saw around at Ryogoku Bridge. This time, the man came up to me and asked me flat out if I was a curse bearer. I told him I didn't know what he was talking about, and he backpedaled and left. Looks like they lurk around there often, looking for kindred spirits, would be my guess. Though it didn't seem like they were quite working as a pair. Gathering soul drugs in a group might be a decent idea if you can make it work. But with things being how they are, it's gotta be hard to find folks one can trust. They've got brass, though. I don't know what their deal is, but I'd like to find out. That's just 2 detectives I've seen sniffing around. The police are involved? Not necessarily. A body turned up in a local park a few days ago, so they might just be looking into that. Still, the park's got ties to one of the 7 mysteries. Might be it was a curse that did the guy in. And if they were sending in detectives from the head office, then something's gotta be up. How do you know where they're from? I should say that when you're in this business, there's some faces you get to know. Anyway, that's someone who's caught my eye. Or everyone, whatever. Someone's. We found all of them in so little time. I really did hire the best. It's all in the name, ma'am. Richter Kai, P.I. It rhymes. Look at his fancy pose. No, wait. Make that Richter Kai, investigator extraordinaire. Hi, an investigator extraordinaire. Is that why you can dress like that without drawing attention to yourself? I bet an investigator extraordinaire can blend in like a chameleon in any outfit. All that aside, the middle-aged man and the young couple sound the most promising, am I right? Whichever we pick, it's still too early to make a move. Seems like the curse bearers are less involved with each other than we thought. Plus, there's still others we don't know about. Say we hang fire and see how things play out. Once more bodies start showing up, that'll get the pot nice and hot. And once it's boiling, our chances will come. Okay. Look at our surroundings. We're on Komagata Bridge over the Sumida River. There's a highway on one side and a freeway on the other, but they're both deserted this late at night. See, Komagata Bridge. One of the bridges spanning the Sumida River, completed in 1927 as part of the reconstruction effort following the Great Kanto earthquake. It's notable both for its distinctive blue arches and the cutting edge, for the time, techniques used in its construction. There are many bridges stretching across the Sumida River, each boasting a unique structural form and design. Look at the river. Sumida River. The water is filthy and horrid, but at night, when it's still, it looks almost peaceful. Can I ask you something, ma'am? Is the Sumida River what you Honjo folks picture when you think of home? I couldn't say. All I can tell you is that I can hardly stand the sight of it. Right, should have guessed. This is where they found him after he went missing. All alone, floating in that horrible water. All I can think is how scared he must have been, how cold he must have been. What did he ever do to deserve something so awful? I've come here every day since then. And I've prayed to the river to give him back. To give back my son. Day after day after day. You know, in olden times, people believed rivers marked where our world met the next. So the act of crossing flowing water had a huge amount of spiritual significance. Back when Edo was founded, the people of Chuo saw the Sumida River the same way. They associated the far side of the river with the afterlife. That same place would later become Honjo. All their fear and revulsion accumulated there and took root. But then the Ryugoku Bridge sprang up after the Great Fire of Meireki. And just like that, Honjo was part of the city too. And as it turned from farmland into a town, the people surrounded it with man-made rivers and crisscrossed it with canals and waterways. Weren't those to prevent flooding? That's what I was told. They were, but that's not all they were for. The other purpose was to contain all the corruption that had built up on the far shore. Stop it from leaking through to the other side of the Great Divide. Officially, they were a physical barrier, but unofficially, they were a spiritual one too. So if I have this right, are you saying that Honjo is a place where the real world meets the afterlife? Exactly, that's the rite of resurrection. That's why the rite of resurrection is here, rather than anywhere else, I'm sure of it. And it's probably why the Seven Mysteries and their curses have survived to the modern day. And I guess that would make this spot we're standing now, right over the water, the border between life and death. If there ever was a place where bringing back the dead might be possible, I reckon it's here. It's funny that you mentioned praying to the river. That might have done more than you think. Is that supposed to make me feel better? Just thinking aloud, ma'am. Well, it's a nice thought. Sumida River. A Class A river that is part of the Arakawa River system. God. Which runs through much of eastern Tokyo and empties into Tokyo Bay. During the Edo period, Sumida's riverbanks played a key role in the transportation of lumber used for construction. In addition to its logistical importance, it was also a place for the common folk to gather and enjoy activities such as seasonal flower viewing or river bathing, and there exist many woodblock prints depicting such activities. The area became plagued with sewage issues when the surrounding environs were industrialized in the post-war period. But the situation has improved since. Many unique bridges span the Sumida River, including the Ryugoku and the Azumabashi bridges, which attract a large number of visitors as sightseeing spots. Massive fireworks displays in summer are also always sure to draw a crowd. The river has served as a cornerstone for both the city and its people, having both aided in its development and serving as an inspiring backdrop for countless works of art and literature. Spooky. Oh, it lets me actually spin all the way around. I wonder if we'll get any jump scares tonight. Standing around is the last thing I want to be doing right now. It's my only chance to bring back my son. I can't afford to fritter it away. Yeah. Talk to him more. Samita River. We're not done here. Oh, that's right. There's one more memory I have of this river. Do you mind if I tell you? Go ahead. Must have been about 20 years now, when I was still a schoolgirl. Back then, the Samita River was much filthier than it is now. It was full of garbage and industrial discharge. It was scummy and slimy, and it stank. You could look out over the water and see dead cats and dogs and pigeons just floating. And one day, among the filth and garbage, there was a piece of my missing classmate's hand. What? It was almost a miracle when you stop to think about it. What were the chances that someone would find a part of her that was still recognizable? And that although everything but the palm had rotted away in the water, the part that was left would have an identifiable scar. And that they can only tell it had been a murder from the blade marks to the bone. On the bone? Yeah. Wait. Are you talking about the Najima murders? They've heard of it. I'm impressed. I assume you were but an elementary schooler at the time? Wasn't really aware of it then. I've only heard about it after the fact. I had no idea the victim was a classmate of yours. Oh shoot. Open the updates. That is a face. Oh man. Let's see. Fumichika Najima. A male, self-employed. The man who made headlines over 2 decades ago as the perpetrator of the brutal killings known as the Najima murders. To be honest, it was all a bit of a blur. A wave of chaos just parting around me. Something like that. They said the rest of her body must have sunk to the bottom of the river. They combed the riverbed, but only ever found pieces. Everything else must have rotted and flowed out to sea. Afterwards, I heard that all the divers who had been looking for her fell ill. Sorry story for everyone involved, huh? It's funny, everyone figures the river's filthy already, so one more piece of garbage won't hurt. But every little bit makes it worse. It's a vicious cycle. I know I wouldn't want to go rooting around down there myself. That's right, which is why the riverbed is the last place anybody would go looking. Or so was the killer's thinking, I suppose. The times were changing quickly back then. Things were confusing. Everyone seemed to be in a hurry. Young people were moving to Tokyo in droves. Some even ran away from home to make it in the big city. And they made easy targets for bad people. A lot of them ended up disappearing without a trace. You see, back then, if you chopped a body up into tiny pieces and threw it in the river, it would rot quickly and discreetly and sink to the bottom, never to be seen again. Are you saying what I think you're saying? They arrested him shortly after, Fumichika Najima. The man who killed my classmate and cut her into pieces. He was so methodical about it, it couldn't have been his first crime. And people began to wonder how many other girls he'd murdered the same way. The police never found any evidence of other murders in the end, but the river knows the truth. How many corpses has it swallowed up over the years, I wonder? That same thought spread throughout everyone's mind, and they started to avoid this area. But really, this river has been rank with corruption for decades now. Or at least that's how it seems to me. Well, was that interesting? I can see why you don't have any good memories of the river. With all the darkness lurking beneath the surface, there's no reason that you would. Still, if I may, ma'am, I'm surprised you know so much about the Najima murders. Murmurs. But how could I not? After all, I was the one who found the hand. The police actually wrote me a thank you letter. They said it was only thanks to me that they managed to bring Najima to justice. It was the only time my father ever said he was proud of me. Huh. Guess it just wasn't the killer's day. Sometimes I wonder if he resents me for it. We meet a river. I have nothing but awful memories of it. We're done with that. Surroundings. I think we're good. Have to talk more. Talk. Boop is Snoop. Boop. There's something I need to tell you. What's up? Well, the girl, Michiyo Shiraishi. The one who was with Shuichi on the day of the kidnapping? That's her. Well, she's dead. She's what? The student who committed suicide last week, that was her. I heard something like that had happened. Never got the name, though. Talk about bad luck. Finally get a lead only to find out it's turned into a literal dead end. Unless her death was the whole reason Junochi was so shaken up. He said she was going to curse him. Was he talking about her taking revenge from beyond the grave? Seems like we're back where we started. Not necessarily. The teacher knows something, I'm sure of it. At the very least, I'd put money on him having something to do with Miss Shiraishi's death. That's why he's so scared of being cursed by her. I see. And also, something tells me he knows more about your son's kidnapping. In any case, I think I've got a good idea of what he's hiding. Call it a hunch. A hunch? Well, more of a theory. Care to take a guess? Sure. Can't say for certain, but... Mr. Junochi, the real crazy person. He silenced himself. No. Also, thank you for the follow, new follower. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Silenced her. I think they said he didn't have a curse thingy. With the curse. Sure, whatever. What if Mr. Jonochi silenced Michiyo Shiraishi with a curse? What do you think? Seemed to me that he was more scared of what someone else might do. True. Might be a little far-fetched. I see. I'm sorry if I disappointed you. Not really cut out to play detective. I was just being dramatic. Well, no point dwelling on speculation. The truth will be out in time. Right now, I think we need to have another chat with Mr. Jonochi. How to read. Oop. Something wrong? Not really, it just struck me. It's been 20 years since the Nijima murders. So it has. Not to spook you or anything, but I thought you might be interested in knowing. Life in prison doesn't always mean life. There's precedent for first-time offenders being allowed out on parole after 20 years. Only if they found to show remorse and the desire to reform themselves, of course. That's right, I'm impressed you know so much. Still, it's hard for someone with a criminal record to reintegrate into society. Yeah, they've been trying to fix that recently, matching inmates with jobs and accommodation. Oh, really? They keep an eye on them, of course, and make them report in for regular checkups. But to avoid discrimination, they keep the inmates' records a secret from everyone but their employers. They even give particularly notorious criminals new identities so they won't be recognized in the workplace. My. The way you put it. Like you're saying, Fumichika Najima could be out on parole right now. Back in society under a new name with nobody any the wiser. Possible. As it happens, a little birdie told me about a big name making parole a few months ago. I don't know if that was Najima, but our discussion just now did bring it to mind. I see. How unsettling. Now that you mention it, I just remembered something too. What was it? I was passing Komagata High School a little while ago when I saw someone. A janitor, I think. And I could have sworn he reminded me of Fumichika Najima. Oh? He looked a little different after 20 years. Much thinner than I remembered, too. I told myself I was just seeing things. Perhaps. Perhaps that was him after all. Perhaps. So, what's next? Big question now is what the rest of the curse bearers are up to. Luckily, the Sumida River is a good distance away from any of the 7 mysteries. Unlikely the other curse bearers will come all the way here. I can finally have a moment to think. I see. Alright. Spend. What if we just sit here? Boop her snoot too. Gonna sit there. Do I have to hit this? Spend? You cannot currently progress any further. Once your situation has changed, select resume to try again. Pressing suspend will return you to the story chart. Oh. Need more information? Let's see. Wonder if I could have gotten that right with the different choices. The crime scene investigation, though, we could check that one out. Tetsuo Tsutsumi. He's the guy that makes the weird face when he talks. Tetsuo Tsutsumi, Chief Inspector of the Metropolitan Police Department, 1st Investigative Division, is investigating the mysterious death of a fellow officer. He visits the scene of the incident, the former Yasuda Gardens, with his subordinate Jun Ario. So what's everyone been up to this weekend? Anything exciting? I wonder if he'll make the face when he talks. Like, The boss, forensics is all done. The crime scene is clean. The other officers have gone home. It's just us now. Napping? Watch some anime, yeah. There was a lot of nap today. I should be able to open back up tomorrow like nothing ever happened. Doubt it'll get many visitors after everything that's happened. You'd be surprised. Lots of people love that kind of thing. I bet they'll be lining up to get in. Occult stuff is really popular right now. Did you not know that, boss? Sounds stupid. Well, it's not exactly rooted in science, but if ghosts really did exist, we could just ask them who the perp is. Somehow I doubt that it'd be that simple. Well, you know, I've heard that high school girls are really into the spirit board thing these days. He did the weird face. Supposedly you could call in spirits and talk to them by using a board with letters on it. Wouldn't that be something? You can try it out yourself if you're so interested. Hey, that's not a bad idea. Let's give it a go sometime, boss. What now? Stop messing around. You really think we're gonna solve this case by moving a coin across a scrap of paper? What is that face? Why? Sounds like you know all about it. Gotta be open-minded. What if it's how police work is gonna be from now on? Don't make me laugh. Updates. Spirit board. Due to the occult craze, divination has become popular among young boys and girls. All it needs is a coin and a piece of paper with letters and numbers on it. Using these, all one has to do is ask a question of the called upon spirit and it will move the coin and answer. It's believed to be a tool that was adopted from Western spiritualism and molded by Japanese occult enthusiasts. Though it's considered a form of divination, the ritualistic nature of its usage can cause self-hypnosis or autosuggestion, leading to hallucinations or symptoms similar to spirit possession. Many schools banned these spirit boards after there were several cases of students sneaking into schools at night, in addition to stories of people having seizures when using the boards. Tenensui, hello. Welcome in. Najima Murders Overview, let's see. Oh, we never read that, did we? One I accidentally skipped. Najima Murders Overview. Notorious case from over 2 decades ago involving the murder of a high school student, a female high school student. It came to the attention of the authorities when part of a human left hand was discovered floating in the Sumida River. Testing revealed it to belong to a missing female high school student. As it appeared to have been severed deliberately, police launched a murder investigation. A large-scale search of the river was organized, but the highly polluted state of the water made this impossible. Visibility was poor, the stench was intense, and the divers quickly fell ill. They succeeded in recovering only the victim's head and what appeared to be part of her leg before the search was called off. At the time of the incident, the Sumida River was as polluted as it had ever been. Neither fish nor shellfish could survive in it, eventually causing the annual fireworks festival to be called off indefinitely. Over the course of the search, the police discovered a number of unidentified human bones. This caused a stir among the public, as several other young women had gone missing in recent years in the Tokyo area, and it was feared that they may have fallen victim to the same fate. Forensic technologies at the time, however, were not advanced enough to determine the identities of the deceased, and so the police were unable to open any inquiries. Due to overwhelming lack of circumstantial evidence, the investigation ground to a halt until a hitherto unrelated individual came to its attention. During a questioning about a separate incident, Fumichika Najima, a 36-year-old shop owner with no relation to the victim, divulged details about her that had never been released to the general public. An investigation into his background was conducted, leading to his arrest. Najima testified that he had snatched his victim from the street and confined her to the underground storeroom of his shop, which also served as his living quarters. He chose her for no special reason, but simply decided that she was an opportune target on seeing her walking alone at night. After keeping her locked up for several days, he restrained her, sewed her mouth shut, and severed her fingers and toes with a box cutter while she was still conscious. As she screamed silently behind her sealed lips, he proceeded to her wrists, her ankles, her elbows, her knees, working his way inwards slowly and methodically. The victim constantly wavered in and out of consciousness. Her ordeal continued until she died of blood loss. Najima dismembered the rest of her body and disposed of it behind his home in the Sumida River before cleaning his storeroom and returning to his everyday routine as if nothing had happened. The brutality of his actions shocked the nation when they were eventually reported. Once apprehended, Najima readily divulged the details of the murder, but was less willing to explain his motive. When asked, he would only break down in tears, saying, "I don't know what came over me. I know it was wrong." In the end, the police could only extract nothing more from him than expressions of remorse, although the efficiency of his methods strongly suggested that he had committed similar crimes in the past. No corroborating evidence ever came to light. Najima was sentenced to life in prison at his first hearing. The sentence was imposed with no appeal from the defendant. That sounds messy. Listen up, Ario. There's the face again, why? Can't go blaming the death of your buddy on something like the occult. I don't care if it was ghosts or the occult or what. Whoever or whatever it was that did this. I'll get them, I promise you that. Well, you've got the right attitude, but we don't know if it's a murder yet. Biases weaken our judgment. Get too fixated on one thing and you'll stop seeing everything else. Aye aye, boss. So, now that we've finished investigating the scene, let's review what we know. Now it's getting late. Figured we'd head straight home from here. Come on, we've got to go over all the info we've gathered. What better place to do that than here at the scene of the crime where we can soak up the atmosphere? Soak up the atmosphere? The hell is there to soak up? Must be really into this occult stuff if you get off on being in a place like this. Wait, you mean somewhere like this doesn't get your blood pumping? No way. Oh no, don't turn this around on me. I'm not the weird one here. Cripes. Fine, let's get this over with. Hey, aye, boss. Hey, surroundings. Talk to yourself. Or wait, no. I'm the other guy. Former Yasuda Gardens here in Yokoami Ichome were originally built as part of a daimyo's estate back in the Edo period. The park became city property a number of years ago and underwent extensive renovations. There's not a soul around at the time of night. Quiet doesn't even begin to describe it. Okay. Spooky park thing. Examine yourself. Jun Ario, A detective of the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, 1st Investigative Division. His rank is sergeant. This is the first time leading a case. It's like he's graduated from rookie to newbie. Looks put together on the outside, but acts like a kid most of the time. Honestly, the force could use more people like him. I don't think there's anything else to really look at. Doesn't seem like it. Got a bad feeling about this case. My gut is rarely wrong. This moment would be treacherous from the moment we were dragged into it. Nicolette, hello. About the case. So, early in the morning yesterday, staff member found the victim collapsed here in the park and called the police when they realized he was dead. While there were no obvious external wounds, the fact that he was a police officer and the evidence of his struggle means that it's likely this was a murder. The media officer sent it over to us since it involved the death of an officer, and we were tasked with the investigation. Good God. V, hello. How are you? What we need to do is figure out what happened and whether there was foul play involved. I think that about sums it up. Boop. But, boss? Yeah. This case is really important enough to assign to someone from the investigation division. I mean, a friend of mine died, so it's important to me, but it's all up to the higher-ups. I'm sure they've got the reasons. Boss, you know something, don't you? It'll all become clear in time. Try not to worry about it too much. Thinking about it, the only thing we know for sure is the identity of the victim. That means there must have been something special about him, right? Maybe he knew something he wasn't supposed to. Some kind of secret or something? Isn't that right? Pretty sharp sometimes, you know that? If you picked up on that, you should be able to put the rest together yourself. Well, it's our duty to get to the bottom of a suspicious death, especially when involving an officer. About the victim. The victim is Hajime Yoshimi of the Juvenile Division of the Sumida City Community Safety Bureau. 27 years old, single. He mostly dealt with cases involving juveniles in education. His rank was senior police officer. You knew him well, didn't you? What was he like? Yes, we were in the academy together. We still went out for drinks together every month or two. He could be a little rowdy, but he was like a big brother to us all. He was kind and cared about his friends. For better or worse, he wasn't the uptight type of cop. The man always showed empathy, and I heard he was popular with the locals for it. He treated each and every troubled kid he met with compassion. He had a great track record when it came to rehabilitation. Sounds like we lost a good one. Yes, we did. Truly did. I knew being a cop was dangerous. I knew something like this could happen, but never easy when it happens for real. I know the feeling. He didn't seem to care too much about climbing the ranks, but he was at the top of our class. The only problem was that he took on so much. He had the most unfinished paperwork, too. I always felt we'd need an unusual guy like him to help us solve all the unusual cases. Hajime Yoshimi. Male community safety officer. No curse echo. Hajime was a police officer with the Sumida City Community Safety Bureau and was primarily responsible for juvenile and education cases. He held the rank of head patrol officer and entered the force at the same time as Jun Ario. Hajime was found dead under mysterious circumstances at the former Yasuda Gardens early in the morning yesterday. Once a rebellious gang member himself, Yoshimi turned his life around and used his own experiences to connect with troubled youth as a police officer. While his appearance and demeanor suggest a man who was rough around the edges, he was a passionate, loyal, and caring man at heart, looked up to as a big brother by his peers. Yoshimi achieved stellar results in his work with juvenile cases, but his consistently sloppy paperwork and less than formal attitude essentially doomed his career and had him writing formal apologies on the regular. He left behind a fiancée whom he had been dating since high school. Don't worry, you're plenty unusual yourself. Me? I was the most normal of my classmates. Although I do make this weird butthole face. Besides, the real weirdo among us quit the academy a long time ago. There's one even weirder than you. Lunar Maniac, hello, how are you? About the victim. Hajime was quite the bad boy in school, apparently. He ended up with the police a lot. Said the officer in charge was good to him, helped him get back on track. The reason he wanted to become a cop was to pay his kindness forward. Said it was his first time he ever took his studies seriously. That's a good story. Love that kind of thing. Makes me want to have a drink in his honor. Please don't make fun of my dead friend. Hey, I said in his honor. You should aspire to become the kind of cop people miss when they die in the field. You say it like it's a sure thing I'll die. Besides, if I end up biting it, I'm sure you'll be the one who misses me the most, boss. Yeah. Come on, don't be like that. You'll hurt morale. Well, I guess how much I'll miss you depends on how this investigation goes. I can already see it. Ario, no! Why'd you have to go and get yourself killed? I have no idea what's going on in that head of yours. Yeah, that'll be a sight to see. I can't wait. You can't wait? What? Can't wait for your own death. Get it together, kid. Yeesh, you really are something. Thank you. Weird butthole face. It's just a weird face he makes. You have a weird face and a weird butthole. I mean, gotta keep things interesting, I guess. More Paranormasight. It's very good. A lot of reading. I don't mind, but it's a lot. What about the victim's family? The Yoshimi family is from the Itasenju in Adachi City, but Hajime's parents died a long time ago. He lived there all alone, no siblings or anything. I went to his house a few times for drinks. I was surprised. It's this huge old-looking place. Like, you know, the kind of place that seems super haunted. And he lived there alone. It looked like the home of an old noble family. It was hard to imagine him being such a delinquent living in a house like that. There's that bias I was talking about. If he's from an old family, I'm sure things were complicated. That's a bias, too. He never talked about any of that, even when we were drunk, so I don't know much about it. One more thing. Yeah. Hajime was engaged. He'd been seeing his fiancée ever since they were in school. Over 10 years. They just started talking about getting married. What was her name again? He showed me a picture once. She was a beautiful woman. That's so. How terrible for her. She may know if there had been anything going on with him lately. We should speak to her. Yeah, his fiancée may have been his only confidant. I'm sure someone at the Samita Police Department has already contacted her. I'll look into it tomorrow. A boba tea place open nearby? Ooh, nice. Boba does sound really good at 11:30. Oh yeah, but need to take a drink. Also, someone is close by. He was on the floor next to me, just rolling around. I had to get him. He was purring that whole time. Bean. Where the victim was found. Well, it's clean now. Feels like nothing happened here at all. Once an incident like this has come to pass, there's no going back. Not that knowing that is any consolation. Hey boss, I looked into the case that Hajime was running. Oh great, that's the kind of stuff I want to know. What was Hajime working on that day he died? Well, according to his report from the day before, he had 2 cases involving juveniles. First was the suicide of a high school girl who jumped off a building in Kamizawa last week. Oh yeah, I did hear about that. The girl's name was Michio Shiraishi. He was a second-year student at Komagata High School. But it seems as though Hajime had had contact with her even before this incident. So she'd been troubled for some time. Yeah, that's the thing. About a month ago, he happened to see her walking around town. She looked upset, so he struck up a conversation with her. He was sure there was something bothering her, but she wouldn't tell him what. Must have been trouble at home. That's what he thought too, but he visited her home and spoke to her parents, but thought there was no problem. There was nothing else he could do. And now she's dead. It's possible he could have prevented her suicide then. He must have been devastated. That's why he was looking into this Michio Shiraishi again. He must have thought that something terrible had happened and drove her to end her life. But ultimately, he never reported the findings of his investigation. See, and you're thinking that it may have something to do with his death. I'll have to find out what it is Hajime discovered. Alright, let's check with the Sumida Police Department about that tomorrow too. What was the other case he was working? This one also related to Komagata High student. A Komagata High student. A troublemaker named Hitomi Okuda. She seems to be the leader of a group of kids who get up to no good. Juvenile delinquency. Fun. It was pretty bad for a while. Multiple charges of destruction of property, assault and battery, you name it. Hajime had been working for her for about 6 months, and she was finally starting to open up. Then he met with the girl the day he died. Well, every school's got its problems. I'm sure he'd be worried about how she'd get on without him. Right, just when she'd finally found an adult she could trust. He might act out without someone to help her get through this. But to make sure the Sumida Community Safety Bureau does their job. But, can't rule out the possibility that meeting with this delinquent girl had something to do with his death. I'll have to interview her too. Yes, you're right. No face. She may have been the last person to see him alive after all. I'll ask Sumida to introduce us tomorrow. Though who knows if they'll actually let us talk to her. What we hired you for. Lay a little boy's charm on them and if they need convincing. Oh yeah, I'm sure that they'd prefer me over a scary-looking old man like you, boss. Watch it, I'm still your superior. You ought to act like you respect me at least. Oh, I thought I was. Sure? Is that just how your generation speaks? You really are a new breed. It's probably just me, actually. Well, don't think you can get away with that with other people. Anyway, boss. We're even listening. We've got quite a bit to look into tomorrow. First, the 2 Komagata High School cases that Hajime was handling. And we need to speak with his fiancée as well. I believe that's it for tomorrow. Indian curry spice, hello? How's your day going? Night? Time zone? Whatever it is right now. Let's see. Notes on Hajime Yoshimi. Yeah, meow. Can I help you? Summary. Body found at former Yasuda Gardens. Estimated time of death 2 days prior, approximately 11 a.m. Cause of death, acute heart failure, cause unknown. Signs of a struggle found at the scene. Efforts to locate witnesses underway. Body discovered by groundskeeper. Currently investigating the fiancé of the deceased and 2 female students from Komagata High School that the deceased had contact with as persons of interest. About the cause of death. As for the cause of death, we won't know until the autopsy is done. From what we've seen, though, it appears some kind of acute heart failure. Since he had no record of chronic illness, he had no visible wounds. It's possible that poison or drugs could have been involved. Dying in the middle of a park like that certainly seems suspicious. We found signs of a struggle at the scene, as well as footprints belonging to an unidentified individual. We've got people trying to identify those prints. If we can find who they belong to, we might be able to figure this whole thing out. Yes, wouldn't it be nice if that were the end of it? The only thing Hajime had on him were his badge and his wallet in his pockets. So we can rule out a mugging. There probably aren't many people who'd think to try mugging a cop as big as him. I'd also heard that Hajime got into a fair few fights in his younger days. What are you doing, little boy? I started judo once and became an officer and rose up in the ranks quickly. Sounds like the perp would have to have been strong to take on Hajime. Pretty strong. I think. Got a bad feeling about this case. My gut is rarely wrong, and this is the same stuff as earlier. How's the death? Time of death was around 11 p.m. 2 days ago. Outside the park's operating hours, of course. His body was found early in the morning yesterday. 11 p.m. the day before yesterday. So what was Hajime doing out here at the time in the first place? That's the question, isn't it? The entrance to the park is closed after hours, but it's a small gate that'd be fairly easy for him to get through if he really wanted to. That would, of course, be breaking and entering, but what do you think, boss? I wonder. What was he doing here? Anyway, let's see. I mean, he's a police officer. So maybe someone called him there. What would he hide? Someone called him? Hard to imagine a cop like Hajime would trespass for no reason. Since it seems like someone else was here with him. Could they have called him here? Oh, that does seem likely. Must have been talking about something pretty sensitive to come here in the middle of the night. So Hajime met someone here to discuss something in secret. And then they got into a fight? Oh, that wouldn't match the cause of death. There were no wounds on the body that would indicate a spontaneous scuffle. Perp must have planned something. Do you think it was meditated? That would mean... They called Hajime to the park with the intent to kill him? Well, there's still the possibility that it was just some kind of accident. Maybe the perp tried to threaten Hajime, and things went south from there. We should be able to get a clearer picture once we know exactly what killed him. Right. Let's see. About Tsutsumi. But either way, I'm glad you're back in the first division, boss. I've always admired your work. You were like a god to me. You were the whole reason I became a detective in the first place. Oh yeah, about that. People have been saying that ever since you first entered the academy, but... Yes, that's because it's true. I couldn't believe you got transferred out of the first just as I was assigned to it. So getting to work a case like this now, just the two of us, is a dream come true. Happy as I am to hear that, well, how should I put it? What is it? That's true, I'm not sure you've been showing me the appropriate amount of respect. But I do respect you. Don't tell me you're going senile, boss. That's exactly what I'm talking about when you run your mouth like that. Getting late, you must be sleepy. Don't worry, boss. I'll make sure we get out of here soon. Yeah, I get it. I've been wowed by your shrewd detecting abilities all day today. Oh, really? Funny. I've been wowed by you, too. Ooh, woo. On the topic of family, what's yours like, boss? Hell's wrong with you? Prying into my personal life all of a sudden? Just that I've never heard you talk about them or anything. Oh, are you single? Shut it, that's none of your business. Well, ever since I joined the force, I've been thinking. The department really pressures young officers to get married. I wonder why that is. You don't say anything like that, though. How should I know? I caved to the pressure myself and got married 20-some years ago. So then... God, you're relentless. She took our daughter and left 4 years ago. Thanks for reminding me. Oh, I'm sorry. Can't believe she'd give up a guy like you. I was never home much, too focused on work. I'm home late only to get called out again. Plus, being a cop is dangerous work. I don't blame her for getting fed up with it all. How sad, especially when you're out here putting your life on the line. Oh, is that why you transferred out of the first? It was already too late by then. Better be careful, Ario. You say that, but there's not much I can do, is there? That's the nature of her job. There aren't many who can really understand it, not unless they're involved with paperwork themselves, or related to someone who is. Oh wait, you have a daughter, boss? Really think I want to talk about her after all that? Have some sense. Come on, I promise I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it the way it sounds, but how old is she? You don't know when to quit, do you? At least try not to look so intrigued. She's a bit rough around the edges. I think most men are intimidated by her. Last I heard, she's living by herself and going to college. Oh, a college student. Men love an educated lady. Okay. Stop that. What kind of cop are you making baseless assumptions like that? She's living on her own though, huh? You must worry about her. Worry? I don't even know where she lives. Oh, she hasn't told you. Probably because she knows you'd follow her around everywhere. I would not, I don't think. Come on now, we both know that's not true. Listen here. You may look like a mean old man, but you sure have a soft side. What? Is that supposed to be a compliment? Can't keep up with you. We're done talking about this.
Viruses are scary.
And that's 3 years.
Good God. 3 heckin' years, Zerzion. Where has the time gone? It doesn't seem like 3 years. Seems like 2 at most. Holy shit, thank you so much for 3 gosh darn years. Heckin' years. All the years. How's your weekend been? We're solving mysteries. Yeah, holy shit, 3 years? I almost said 3 months. It's at least that. Oh, that reminds me. If you got married 20 years ago, it must have been right around the Najima murder. You know your history, yeah, that happened a year or 2 after our wedding. You were the one who arrested the killer, weren't you? We studied that case at the academy. I was only in elementary school at the time, but I remember people talking about some dangerous criminal getting arrested. Well, that was just... cracking the case, finding the guy, it was all just happenstance. Really rather not think about it. It's a disturbing case. Did it not make your skin crawl when you learned about it at the academy? It did. We were all terrified. Sounds about right. No one could believe that such a mild-mannered man could have committed such a terrible murder. If we had overlooked just one little thing, we may never have caught him at all. I think I remember hearing there was only one charge brought against him at the end. That's right, we didn't have all the evidence. I knew there was no way such a meticulously planned crime could have been there first, but may have struck Fumichika Najima in a cell. But it was no victory. Stuck, not struck. He always had the upper hand. All that damage he did to everyone involved, especially the victim's classmates. It's already been 20 years, huh? God damn it. This is why I try not to think about it. I'm sorry. Should be. All kids out, hello. Zach, hello, hello. Yeah, he's doing the face again. What if I just talked like that? About the occult. See, there it is. Oh, it's occult stuff. Have you heard about it, boss? What are you talking about? This rite of resurrection thing that everyone's talking about. Oh, not you two. I've been hearing about that shit elsewhere. Everywhere. Whatever. All over the where. Oh, you have? That's surprising. Who cares what other people are talking about? It's got nothing to do with their job. But don't you think the occult stuff with this case feels, I don't know, realer somehow? Well, things started here right in Honjo and Sumida City, so I thought that maybe. Cut it out. Nothing good could come of getting involved with the rite or whatever, or that record of fates. Sounds like you know all about it. Boss, are you secretly into the occult? Stop that. Seriously, this isn't a joke. Get why you'd be intrigued by something called the Rite of Resurrection after a buddy of yours died, but... bringing the dead back to life, that's the stuff of fantasy. Not real. I don't go hoping for miracles, got it? Got it? Yeah, you summoned the face. Well, boss, I think that about does it. Alright, let's call it for tonight. I'll see you tomorrow. Spooky. Oh god, what's that? Huh? Boss, what's wrong? Don't tell me you're going senile. True light is no rumor, believe me. I mean, it was that case all along. Boss, what is it? Is there something over there? Ah, such deep sorrow, a resentful memory is flowing into my mind. It was good to see its falsehoods in something hung up forever in eternal darkness. Kill them, kill them. Those who spread lies, kill them all. You have acquired the power of the Cursed Stone, the Evergreen Beach. You can use it to kill those who intentionally try to mislead you. Press the use curse button when someone lies to you. Oh shit. Oh poop. I didn't mean to. The Evergreen Beach. Let's see. We read some of this. A single leaf never fell from the tree, something something. It's an evergreen tree. The lack of fallen leaves is nothing out of the ordinary. Strangest part of the legend is the fact that it became a legend. Okay. It was all a lie. Much like how we kill people. Okay. Resentful memory. He deceived with his so-called rite of resurrection. The man who tricked the people with his false, dark arts swings from a rope. They thought the man had escaped the previous night, but oddly enough, he was found hanging in the garden at the daimyo's mansion that morning. Harue was singing the song of his people downstairs in the kitchen, as is tradition as well. The man, a local named Jinkichi, was known for his kind temperament and skill in crafting Netsuke class. Isn't that a doll too? That's where my brain went. While his life wasn't always easy, he was optimistic, the type to smile through whatever life threw at him. He was the kind of man who would take care of those who didn't have anyone else to rely on. The prosperity of the ukiyo-e boom prosperity that it brought must have been what fanned the flames of his greed. But the ukiyo-e is like a way of painting. The old craftsman was found in a miserable state, as if sentenced to some cruel fate. Perhaps he'd ended his own life, unable to bear the weight of his own crime. But dead men tell no tales, and the people thought of him as a bad man even in death. He hung there for days, till his neck stretched horrifically, a visage of pain still etched on his face. It was clear he must have struggled greatly as he died, his flesh marked with dark scars where the rope wrapped around his whole body. The beech tree's leaves do not fall, and neither did the man's body hanging from it, as the mansion's owner was not at home. Another unfortunate event. The people held their tongues, fearing divine punishment, but the rumors persisted nonetheless. Harue is trying to be a distraction right now. Murderous impulse seeps into my soul like thick black tar. Yeah, we've read that. Now, kill. Can you hear it, cursed bearer? You who strongly desires the right? Kill them. Murderize. Boss. It'd be funny if you woke up and he was doing like the weird little. Oh god. Boss, what's the matter? Don't tell me you really went senile. Sorry. I'm fine. Ario. Yes? I have some bad news. Oh no, your senility is kicking in, isn't it? I've got a bit of trouble on our hands. Looks like we'll be working some overtime. I'm not going home tonight. We are not going home. Huh? What are you talking about? I'm a sleepy boy. Oop. Okay. I wonder, is this one going to stop me as well? Ooh, we're stopped here because we don't know what. We don't have enough info. Halushki? What is that? Also, welcome back. Time for Curse Bears Part 1. Summary of previous events. Tsutsumi and Jun are sorting through the facts of the scene of Officer Hajime Yoshimi's mysterious death. Tsutsumi denies the existence of the Rite of Resurrection until the curse echo of the Evergreen Beach appears before them. Bearer of the curse. Bacon, cabbage, onion, and noodles. Ooh, hot nudes. Okay, so let me get this straight, boss. The Rite of Resurrection really exists? And to use it, you have to kill people using the power of curses from the 7 mysteries of Honjo? And the curse you have is from the story of the Evergreen Beach that's told in this area. Is that right? Yeah, pretty much. Quick on the uptake. You weren't your usual silly self when you were explaining, so I knew you were telling the truth. I'm never silly. The only thing I have trouble believing is that you're taking this occult stuff seriously now. I mean, talk about paranormal. I thought that you didn't believe in any of that. Not that I don't believe in it. My familiarity with it is why I've tried not to get too close. Are you being a sore loser? Not used to admitting you were wrong? Oh, shut up and listen to me. No point in trying to hide things anymore. Won't get anywhere if you don't understand this, so listen up. Please, just listen. You don't have to keep saying it, I'm listening. Don't have time to waste. We'll talk as we walk. The old walk and talk. Hey, wait for me, boss. The jam. Oh dang it, we're gonna find that one guy here. Oh, sorry, I just want to double check one thing. You're telling the truth, right? This isn't a side effect of your senility? That's the truth. It's not like I could prove it, though. Think. Revealing the existence of the secret department is against the rules, even to a fellow cop. This is an emergency. I need his help. I'll tell him. Boop. Now, where did this jam come from? Examine him. Not stupid, but he sure can be slow sometimes. Though I think the positivity of his may come in handy at some point. I can't look around anywhere else. Talk. Sure, you already know this, but this is all top secret. No sharing it with anyone. Alright, you could trust me not to. But no, I just can't believe it. Heard rumors that you used to be a member of the secret division attached to the Security Bureau. Can't believe we actually have a department called Paranormal Affairs. Yeah, I'm sure it comes as a shock. Couldn't believe it myself. Thought the higher-ups were messing with me. Something really had me worried there for a while there. Oh, this is incredible. The whole reason I became a cop. I was always fascinated by secret agencies and stuff. You serious? Thinking about it, it totally makes sense. If curses and spirits really do exist. And of course we need a special department to protect citizens from them. I'm a bit too eager to believe all this. Hang on, I thought you joined up because of me. Come on, boss. You only have one favorite food? You like more than one thing. Yeah, whatever. In any case, the official stance is that the supernatural doesn't exist, so Paranormal Affairs operates in secret. Still not sure why they stuck me there. Those 4 years I worked nothing but cases involving the supernatural. Paranormal Affairs Bureau. The PAB. Although officially called the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, Security Division, Special Security Unit, Paranormal Affairs Bureau, it's more commonly referred to as Paranormal Affairs. Only a handful of people know its existence, even within the police force. As the name suggests, it specializes in the investigation and resolution of cases involving paranormal phenomena. Since the existence of paranormal phenomena is not public knowledge, nor is it readily believed by the general population, the Bureau's activities are conducted in the utmost secrecy. Currently, there are only 5 members, including the chief. The Bureau has a network of psychic contacts across the country who assist with their cases, including Mio Urasuzu. The Bureau undertakes investigations into any investigations into any suspicious stories that cross their desk, though the vast majority turn out to be hoaxes. Due to the sheer volume of cases, close-lipped, experienced detectives without paranormal abilities of their own, such as Tetsuo Tsutsumi, are sometimes assigned to investigate. The current chief of Paranormal Affairs is a man named Koiru Nakagoshi. He was born to a family of psychics who have been involved in keeping the world safe from paranormal phenomena for generations, and has served as Mio Kurisuzu's mentor since discovering her. Uiru is an elusive figure. Very few have met him in person, and he is rarely seen in the office. It's said that this is because he has oft been the target of curses. However, some theorize that it is the fact that Uiru is not actually of flesh and blood at all. His seat in the office is usually occupied by a Nue, a legendary creature found in Japanese folklore. The Nue resembles an ordinary white thrush and acts as Kuiru's messenger, leading to bizarre scenes of police officers earnestly reporting their findings to a bird. The term Nakagoshi case serves as a code name used to refer to cases under the investigation by Paranormal Affairs. Look at this guy. Oh, it's June. Okay. See. He's a detective. Encountered a curse echo while investigating the mysterious death of a colleague. See. Tetsuo explained to him that the supernatural is real. I was trying to see if we've read any of this yet. We haven't. He accepted the fact without a moment's hesitation, vowed to help his partner solve the case. Maybe it's the bottom part we've read. Maybe. I forget. I just remember that he's a fresh-faced police detective. So. Born to a relatively well-off household, June developed a healthy sense of self-esteem and optimistic outlook on life. I remember reading this. I thought. Meow? Or says hi. Do you want up here? Come here. Hey, Kuro. Here. Or he's just gonna stare at me. Hey. He's gonna be a butthole. Get comfy. He demands a lap. Yep. Well, be good. Kura's helping us solve mysteries. Can you not miss the controller? I'm pretty sure you read a lot of this. He attended the police academy with Richter Kai, who's now a private investigator. Two initially became friendly when June found Richter holed up alone in the reference room scouring over old crime data. Invited him to go bowling, a popular pastime during this era. Yeah. Okay. Remember the bowling? Can I help you? So do you, have it? Have what? Your sense, of course. Are you what they call spiritually gifted? Nope, I've never felt anything like it. Or at all, whatever. Even if I did, I'd be a lightweight at best. One beer and I'm down for the count. Oh, huh. Does all people in the field qualify someone's spirit sense, like how much liquor they can handle? Nope, it's just me. Thought it'd help get the point across. Oh, huh. Sorry, it just seems like I keep disappointing you. No, it's not your fault, boss. At the risk of disappointing you again, I'll tell you one more thing. Spirit sense is usually something you're born with. It's tough to develop it later on. Well, so there's no hope for me. No, say it isn't so. Of course, you were interested. Well, you never know. Might have some hidden potential. There's a high schooler who's got so much spirit sense that she works on the front lines. They work, but she wasn't paid because it was supposedly part of a training. Yikes, it seems like it'd be in violation of Article 69 of the Labor Standards Act. Nice. Oh, you really know the law. No comment. Even the occult field has workers' rights issues, huh? Oop. So what do we do now? Got this rite of resurrection and the curse echoes of the 7 mysteries of Honjo. Curses being spread out around the city is a bit of an emergency. That bad? Put it this way, it's like handing out guns all over town. Jeez, that's real bad. It is. We need to find the source and put a stop to it before something terrible happens. Usually that'd be a job for paranormal affairs, but I talked to them on the way here. Main team is tied up until tomorrow night. They told me to deal with it myself. Said it'd be fine since I have some experience. Huh? What? And the overtime you mentioned means... Yep, you're gonna help me, partner. Alright, let's do this. He's very pumped about it. I'm a bit too eager to dive into all this. You really have no reservations working in case you know nothing about. Oh, this was an emergency. I didn't think we had a choice. I'm just trying to be logical about this, boss. Really, or something. Might actually be nice having you around. I thank you. Kuro's passed out, by the way. So, what exactly do we do? These curses are connected to the 7 mysteries, and the people who have the others should all be in town. Right, there's 7 of them, which means there are 6 more out there. We have to stop them before they all kill anyone with their curses. If we can, we should find and collect all the cursed stones. Boss, from what you said earlier, killing a curse bearer gets you closer to completing the rite of resurrection. Won't your life be in danger if they find out you're a curse bearer? Pretty much. Can't let that happen. Could you even be out here right now? Hiding would only be a waste of time. The mystery of the one-sided reed is associated with Ryogoku Bridge. Hoping it would be quick enough to run into the one-sided reed's curse bearer. No such luck, it seems. Well, if nothing else, maybe word will spread that the cops are on the lookout and people will behave. That's putting a lot of trust into whoever these people are. But it's possible the other curse bearers with the same idea will come here. Talk to anyone you see who seems suspicious. That means someone who may have the power of a curse? Understood. In that case. Look at this random person right here. Why don't I just ask the guy who's been watching us this whole time? What do you know? There is someone there. Good luck. And then we got cursed. Hey, you there. Sorry to bother you, but I've got some questions. I'm with the police. Rendezvous, hello? But avoiding spoilers? Yeah, definitely. It's a great game. I hope you enjoy it when you get to it. But thanks for popping in. Hope you've had a good weekend. There's a cat on my lap. Thanks for your cooperation. We'll be asking you a few questions, Mr. Fancy Sweater. Yutaro Namigaki, that's your name, correct? Yeah, I don't mind answering your questions. You're a detective? Did something happen? Alright, lots of things have been happening around here. Like pushing up my glasses. I mean, people dying. Man identifies himself as Yutaro Namigaki, a 21-year-old college student. He is watching us so calmly. We need to be careful with this guy. Think. So, what to make of this guy? Look at his sweater. If this were a normal case, I'd be fine letting him take the reins. But the curses are involved here. I should take over. Boss, let's talk to this guy. Oh, okay. Talk. So what is it you're doing here? Oh, must be the incident of the former Yasuda Gardens. A dead policeman? Can't imagine a detective would come all the way out here otherwise. Hey, Mr. Detective. Have you ever heard of the Evergreen Beach? Answer my question, you jerk butt. How about you answer my question first? What are you doing here? I was answering your question. Came here to look for the Evergreen Beach from the 7 Mysteries of Honjo. Actually, I was wondering if either of you knew anything about it. Not here. If it was the Evergreen Beach you're after, you'd be better off looking around the former Yasuda Gardens than here. Oh, you know a lot about this. That's what I thought. Detectives, you have the cursed stone of the Evergreen Beach, don't you? You, how did you know? Shut up! Harue, you idiot. That was much easier than expected. Oh crap, sorry. It was simple inference. Inference? Yeah. Figured you would have taken the curse if you were just in the gardens. If you know that, then you must be a curse bearer yourself. I have no intentions of hiding anything. I plan to tell you from the start. Look. This is my curse stone. I believe it's called the Foot Washing Mansion. That's right. But, are you sure about this? I'm not so rash that I'd kill someone as soon as I found out they were a curse bearer, not without talking to them first. You're the same, aren't you? Detectives? You didn't use a curse on a normal person. Let's speak as equals, shall we? Or not equals. Boss? Sure, we'd rather resolve this amicably, too. I think. We don't want to murder him yet. He really is a curse bearer. Maybe only talking with us to try and activate his curse. You have to be wary of anything he asks me to do. I could tackle him and pin him to the ground, but that might be something to do with his curse. Any slip of the tongue would get us killed. I have to try and discern what activates his curse. So what do I do? We already kind of know what activates his curse from the other story. But we'll see how this plays out. Before we talk, there's something I should tell you. This is my curse stone, the Evergreen Beach, just like you thought. What? Boss, why would you tell him? That's for how the curse works. Boss, are you having another senior moment? If you tell him that. It hangs to death anyone who would try to mislead me. If you try to lie to me, the curse stone will let me know. I don't have to use it to tell, understand? Oh, really? That's super useful. I see, understood. It's a pretty useful power for a detective. Now then, let's talk. Damn, it seems I've lost the upper hand. No point for petty tricks then, I'll be honest with you. So far so good. There's someone I want to bring back, so I'd like your assistance in collecting soul dregs. I can't help you. Please, all you have to do is tell me who the other curse bearers are. Sorry, but as a police officer, I can't look the other way and let you go. Please, if you help me, I'll let the two of you go as well. I think that's a lie. I want to see what happens though, still. Is that a threat? No. It's your final warning. Am I gonna die? I just wanted to see it. I cursed the Foot Washing Mansion. You really think you could escape it by being careful? It didn't matter to me. Which of you was the curse bearer? I'll be taking both of your soul dregs anyway. Wait, Namagaki! Foot Washing Mansion is a powerful curse. It's so simple to activate. It's ready whenever I need it. There's no escape from the voice of my feet. Oh no, feet! What? Did we ever learn what activated it last time? I don't know that we did. But also, will the voice thing still work? Arrow, get out of here. Hurry. I'll find you later. What? Okay. Too late. Hear the voice of my curse echo. The voice of this curse echo. Nani? Oh, what? Why isn't my curse echo working? Possible. This has never happened. What's happening? I don't hear anything. Arrow, now grab him. Kick him in the dick. Namagaki, get down. Damn it. Oh, it's here. His curse stone. Good work. Give it to me. We have another curse stone now. And, we're not murderers. Damn it, why? What do you think, boss? Should we lock him up? I haven't even touched you. You can't consider that assault of a police officer. Let him go. All we need is the stone. How could this happen? My right of resurrection. Give it up. The right was too good to be true from the start. I don't know what happened to you, but you're better off mourning whoever you lost the right way. Now get out of here. Damn it. Yeah, that was a close one, huh, boss? Probably be dead if he had activated his curse. Yeah, I'm not sure what, but something stopped his curse from... boss, are you okay? Having another curse stone hurt? Yeah, the curse from this one is flowing into me too. Oh no. I saw what activates the curse of the foot-washing mansion, and the resentful memories bound to it. I see. I always thought this one was one of the stranger of the seven mysteries. Now I know why. Sure is something. Now what did you see? Save that for later. All you need to know now is that it was a particularly powerful curse. We're lucky we took it from him quickly. Phew. You'd have a giant foot. The foot-washing mansion. So basically, a giant foot slams through the roof and demands to be washed and then disappears. Kills by crushing one who hears the command wash. Resentful memory. She was an accomplished onmyoji. Alas, she did not use her talents for the good of the world or the people, but for her own selfish pursuit of beauty. After a fierce battle, the woman dragged herself through the streets. It was like something had gnawed away at her body. Will I die? I've already obtained what I needed, as long as I have this. Suddenly a terrible realization dawned on her. Her legs wouldn't move. She fell to the ground. What was happening? Surprised, she looked down. Her foot, once so beautiful and delicate, had grown ulcerated and rotten. He got her. She was on the verge of death, and covered in filth to boot. Crawling to a nearby house, her breath caught in her throat. Furious residents opened up, but recoiled from what they saw. What is so filthy? Please, someone, quickly. The woman expired while mumbling something unintelligible, and so ended the life of the woman consumed by evil. Wash! Wash your feet, chat. Well, that makes one stone. Where do we go now? Visit all the places associated with mysteries while it's still dark out. I mean, we have to do that all over again? Hope they aren't all as aggressive as him, but people do crazy things to bring back someone they love. Seems that hatred of the cursed stones are imbued. The hatred the cursed stones are imbued with makes people more willing to kill. Really? Then what about you, boss? I'm fine. May not have any spirit sense, but I'm tough when it comes to this stuff. Why they loved me in Paranormal Affairs. You're spiritually gifted after all. Alright, let's head to the next place. I wish you could all see Kuro. He's passed out on my lap on his side, but he has one leg out. One little leg straight out. What a baby. When did I save last? In 85 years? Oh, it's been forever. They hunted the Curse Bears Part 2. Tatsumi and Ario decided to collect the curse stones as soon as possible before they became the cause of an unprecedented tragedy. The two obtained the foot-washing mansion from Yutaro Namigaki and head to their next destination. Midoricho Park. That just means I have to hold the controller like this. What? You want the G Fuel? Oh, he just saw red. Okay. Make sure he didn't slice me. His nails need chopped a little bit. Whatever, my lap is free now. Excuse me, sorry to bother you, but we have some questions for you. Legends are real? Nice. Seems like they put a lot of effort into the things. Locations and historic facts. What? Are you with the police? I haven't done anything. Don't worry, this isn't an interrogation or anything. We just want to talk. You're Hideki Arashi, right? The historian? We know who you are, so this won't take long. But since we saw you here, we figured we'd ask you a couple questions. Guy's suspicious. He's already sweaty. I like that they did a lot of research for the game. Is there more information about the other characters, apparently, that I didn't read? Let's see. The local history researcher, yeah. Tell you what. Hideki is a historian who works part-time as a curator at the local folk museum and as a teacher at Komagata High School. His recent publication on the rite of resurrection has caused a stir in occult circles. Hideki is the quintessential obsessive researcher. Despite being entirely unsuited for teaching, he had no choice but to take up a position at Komagata High School in order to make ends meet, while having a captive audience in his classes goes some way to satisfying his need for respect and recognition. His conceited nature makes him unpopular among the students. Lately, he's concerned that articles he contributed for purely monetary reasons have earned him a reputation as a researcher of the occult. But the surge of interest in the topic and the resulting volume of article requests he is receiving are undeniably tempting. Hideki is a regular at the Kurokyo Cafe on Hokusai Street, where he can be found outside his work hours writing essays and manuscripts. His publicized books include A Study of the Unknown and An Introduction to Bondo History. Let's see. I'm not sure where it updates things. Okay. Tetsuo is a veteran detective from the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, 1st Investigative Division. He's possessed by the Evergreen Beach Curse Echo while investigating the former Yasuda Gardens. Previously a member of the Secret Paranormal Affairs Bureau within the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department Security Division, he makes use of this experience to investigate the ongoing large-scale curse incident with his partner Jun Ario. He has a penchant for candy and desserts. Same. Relatable. He tries but fails to conceal from other officers at the risk of appearing soft. He delights in buying local sweets whenever he's sent to investigate a case and would often volunteer to be dispatched to distant locations to acquire them while he was with the Paranormal Affairs Bureau. He's also surprisingly knowledgeable about current trends, a trait he puts down to investigation-related research, but which is actually spurred by his wish to have something to discuss with his daughter. I want some sweets. See, this is jerk butt. Foot washing mansion, Curse Echo, abandoned. Sucker. Young man encountered at Ryogoku Bridge. He didn't hide the fact that he was a curse bearer. His curse stone was later recovered by Tetsuo Tsutsumi. Yutara is an elite student at a prestigious university. He lives off the generous allowance he receives from his parents, who are both prominent local figures. Although Yutara has lived a charmed material life, emotional neglect at home has caused him to develop a spoiled, egotistical streak. The only kindness he knew growing up was from his family's maid, and he still fondly thinks of the plain rice with butter they used to enjoy together. Well, well, well. Well, let's get this over with. I'm a busy man. Looking suspicious. Hey, let's ask Hideki some questions. Questioning people like this can put unnecessary stress on them depending on their position. The guy's pretty sharp. I'll have to play it safe and only push him when I see an opening. From appearances, it's hard to imagine the small, bookish, well-spoken man being very dangerous. But in this day and age, you never know. Should be careful. Can we look at anything else? No? Okay. What were you doing? Now, Mr. Araishi, what were you doing here at this time of night? Doing research, of course. Day or night, information never sleeps. An admirable philosophy, you know. Your research has been quite the talk around town. What was it they were saying? You discovered something about some book? Aw, poop. Wait, well let me, hold on. Persons of interest, there you go. Rite of Resurrection? No? We had to be smart. See. I don't know that it say in here. That is the unknown introduction to Bondo history. Yeah, Aereo seems it's a little silly, but it doesn't seem bad. The publication on the Rite of Resurrection. The Record of Dates. Book of Fates? It's obviously you don't know a thing. I don't. It's the Record of Fates. How rude. Yeah, that's it. Sorry about that. I should have done my research. Yeah, whatever. I was close enough. Shut up. It's true that you found some kind of ritual in that book, right? Wait, don't tell me you don't know how to carry out the Rite of Resurrection too. Or you don't tell me you want to know. Perfectly honest, I'm tired of people asking me about it all the time. None of you even care about the local history. You just come crashing out of the woodwork when something interesting comes up. Looks like I hit a nerve. If you think you can force me to tell you because you're policemen, you're sorely mistaken. Was the research you were doing just now related to the Rite of Resurrection? Well, yes, that's right. What exactly were you looking for? I have no reason to tell you that. Why, you wouldn't understand anyway. What a poop butt. From appearances, it's hard to imagine him being, whatever. About his research. Are you doing all this research so you can use the Rite of Resurrection yourself? You're a policeman. Do you really think people can be brought back to life? Everyone I meet, pitiful. You don't believe in the rite? Whether it's real or not has nothing to do with my research. Such things are better left to occult freaks. So I thought. Things changed. It's become necessary for me to pursue the rite. So now I pray that it's real. What changed? I'm sure you can imagine the funds for my research. I receive a large amount of funding for seeking the Rite of Resurrection, and if I find it, I'll receive a sum so great that I'll never have to worry about money again. Oh, then that means someone's sponsoring your research, is that right? What if they are? You have no idea how hard we work to secure funding for our research. I have no interest in teaching those children. Listen to me, I'll tell you one thing. Those experts you see writing provocative books or spouting nonsense on TV to try to get popular, all of them are trying to get the money they need to do the research. With how popular the occult is, saying something even remotely spooky can lead to big money. What? But I bought your book. Pursuit of the unknown begins, first and foremost, with belief. I was so inspired by that bit. I do appreciate your patronage. Unfortunately, however, the occult is not my true interest. The fate of the unknown is to be destroyed by thorough research and deep consideration. No way, I can't believe it. You're surprisingly innocent. About the research? What kind of research do you want to be doing? I'm sure it wouldn't interest you, but to put it simply, the focus of my research is how historical accounts transform into folklore over the years as they are passed down from generation to generation. And what does that mean? Due to human bias, the account of any event is inevitably changed by the person communicating it. This is not necessarily done with ill intentions. It happens when someone tries to fill in the gaps in a story that lacks detail, or when something's left out or abridged because of the story's length, or when a story twists and shifts as it's spread through oral tradition. Even when two stories are told about the same event, differences in culture or environment may affect how it's told, changing its content. Silly little things can turn terribly mysterious legends into. My research is the study of how history, culture, and legend all influence each other. I see. Take the 7 mysteries of Honjo, for example. Why are some of the mysteries seemingly about nothing particularly interesting? You'd think stories wouldn't last a decade, let alone hundreds of years, so why? Perhaps putting it that way piques your interest? I admit I'm curious. That's what you've been researching all this time. Makes sense. As I've said, it doesn't matter to me whether the right exists or not. If people in the Edo period believed what was written in the Record of Fates was real, that's all I'm interested in. But I have to be realistic. The research I'd like to do is unfortunately not very lucrative. That's why I need to take some risks. This Record of Fates, where did you get your hands on it? The storehouse of an old private residence in the city, just as the public was told. I'm unable to be precise due to an agreement with my informant. Well, in that case, I think I might have a guess as to what it is you were looking for. Curse stones? Yeah, the 7 mysteries, yes, whatever. Curse stones? What? Damn it, if you know about that then. And calm down, no need to get so defensive. Oh, should we whip it out? Whip them both out. Like they're Pokemon. Let's see. I don't know, we should probably mess with them a little bit. With one information, right? Why don't we have a nice friendly chat? You may say that, but I don't trust you. Perhaps you've already learned about curses. Perhaps you want to take my power away from me. No, that's not true. I almost revealed my hand. I'll say nothing else. Sorry, but taking my leave here. Hey, stop. Mao, did you hear him? He was in the landing, meowing. He's so fast. Sorry, boss, he got away. Oh no, we should have bunked him. Aw, poopy. Should have whipped my thingy out. Damn. Let's see. Resume. Check this thing out. With one information, right? Why don't we have a nice friendly chat? A curse stone. You're a curse bearer. Belief. It's the Evergreen Beach, then. Yep, will you show me yours? Showed you mine, show me yours. Ooh, will. This is mine, the ever-burning lantern. Interesting. Maybe if I hide mine, he'll tell me about his. I won't mince words. I'd like to confiscate your cursed stone. Excuse me? You may be policemen, but you have no right to do that. Police are aware of how dangerous the stones are. Could arrest you under Article 1, Section 2 of the Minor Offenses Act. Or you hand it over and all you lose is your secret ability. Think of what would happen to all your research if you were arrested. I'll call your bluff. The stones can never be used as evidence. If you want it, you'll have to take it by force. I find it hard to imagine that an officer of the law would use a curse on a citizen. You can't touch me. Which means I have no reason to continue this conversation. Sorry, I'm a poop butt. Can you do it, you're a perv? Hey, we both had thingies. Fine, we'll just tell him all the things. I was trying to be sneaky. Soul drags, no. Look at my thingy. Tell you this for free. Evergreen Beach comes from a man who was hanged for spreading false rumors. But the accusations against him were unfounded, and he died cursing those who deceived him. Oh, so that's a resentful memory held within the Evergreen Beach. Memories of the 7 mysteries are truly fascinating. If only I could collect them all. Do whatever you want, but you should know something. The stone of mine lets me curse anyone who tries to mislead me. What? But don't try and lie to me, I'll know. You would curse a citizen? And you call yourself an officer of the law? All depends on you. I don't want to use it if I don't have to. But what is it you want? The curse stones are dangerous. I'd like to confiscate yours. Excuse me? But am I right? First, let me ask you one thing. You haven't used that curse, have you? No, of course I haven't, I swear. I see, good. Now why don't you hand over that stone? Unless you'd rather try using it on me instead. Damn you, I won't give it to you. If I were to say that, what would happen? Would it be a crime? Police are aware of how dangerous the stones are. I could arrest you under Article 1, Section 2 of the blah blah blah. Hand it over and poop and crap. Fine. You can have the stone. Here. Hey! Nice. We didn't murder a man. Oh, I should have read that. The hell was it? Ever-burning lantern. Let's see. I remember there was a lantern that's perpetually lit, but there's also another one where it remains dark and won't be lit. But resentful memory. When Hondo was filled with samurai residences, the spies of the shogunate lived amongst the town people to keep an eye on things. The Sobakar on South Warigasui served as one of their outposts. They would communicate to each other in code by turning the lantern on or off. Tonight at 4 a.m. meant that someone would be having the last soba of their life, and that their belly would be sliced open the next night. An unfortunate incident occurred in which a man attacked a woman in a bout of fury. He regretted it deeply, even declining to invoke the right to defend his honor, but the deed was done. Still, he could not accept it. His rage at having been used by his daimyo boiled over, turning into a grudge he would never forget. Nearby, he saw a lantern quietly glowing in the night. When the 6th bell rang, the man cut his own stomach open. Since then, the lantern could be seen alight before the Sobakar had opened, and would flicker out suddenly, even when there was no wind blowing. As this unsettling phenomenon continued, the rumors surrounding it grew, and soon all that were convinced that it was the man who cut open his stomach visiting from the beyond. Why has his head popped off? Mysteries. Good choice. I was looking forward to seeing how your research pans out. Alright, would you tell us everything you know about what's going on? If you help us out, I'll give you the information we've gotten after we solve the case. What do you say? In that case, will you tell me about all the resentful memories of the 7 mysteries? I believe they are the key to the 7, or the secret hidden in the Record of Fates. Sure, why not? I'll learn about them as I collect the cursed stone. The cursed stones. Thanks to you, we learned a lot from him. I wonder, the mysteries in the right are all public information. We kept everything he knows about the curse bearers and the source of the curse here hidden. I was hoping he'd at least give us a clue about how to beat these curses. Oh, I see. Then we should be more aggressive next time. Really make them spit it out. And by we, I mean you. I'm guessing he wants to save this curse. He wouldn't have told us anything no matter what we asked. And now we know where he hangs out. We can always send someone to him, or for him if need be. Right, got it. I was surprised to hear that there are actually 9 of the 7 mysteries, though. There's 2 extra curse bearers we have to find. Confiscated 2, and there's 6 more. Could be anywhere in this town. We have to find them faster. They may start using the curses. No, I think we're already too late. Huh? I didn't tell you this, but there were some soul dregs in Nabagaki's curse stone. Really? Then he already killed someone with it? Not much, but it probably wasn't a curse bearer. Shit. Well, we know who did it. We can make arrangements to take him into custody. We'll have Paranormal Affairs pick him up tomorrow. For now, we'll continue our research. Or search, whatever. Alright, on to the next place. We just have to cross them off the list by one. Oh, but boss? Didn't know we can use the Minor Offenses Act to arrest people with curse stones. But why didn't we do that with Namigaki? If we could do that, there'd be no need for the Paranormal Affairs. What grounds would a normal detective have to put him under arrest? Oh, right. Yeah, I suppose that's true. So we can't do this yet. Still have this. Let's see. I wonder if we're done up here, if that's all finished. We'll never know. We have 2 different things to go through at least now. I remember we murdered her when we were Shogo. Or, we didn't do it. I didn't hit the button, but she still died. It's a mystery. Give me a few seconds. I'm gonna take a break. We might start her story. We'll see. Everyone stretch, hydrate, snack. Midnight snacks. But also don't forget to follow the channel. The usual. Consider subscribing. Keep the stream going. Also, check out the YouTube if you haven't already. Subscribing would help me out a ton. Also, if you miss the stream, you can catch up there as well. But I'll see you all soon. I will be right back. This music's gonna continue playing, so I'll just go on the BRB screen. BRB.